have my notes open, but I figured I'd have a heart-to-heart conversation with anyone who's looking to get into e-com in 2026 or just starting to scale their stores. I'm going to show you exactly how we took the store from an idea, a concept, and now to $100,000 a month in about 2.5 months of operations. Here's a refresh check just so you know it's legit. Every video I do comes with refresh checks, just so you know I'm actually doing what I'm talking about. You had the refresh, and now that you know that we actually know what we're talking about, let's dive into the sauce. If your customer only buys from you once, you don't have a valuable business. If your customer buys from you once and you have to be profitable in that first purchase, it's very difficult to be able to scale that business because the moment your customer acquisition cost goes up, you instantly have to scramble around to cut other expenses. But if you have a recurring revenue business where you can have customers who pay you on a monthly basis, which can be done through either a replenishable product or actually just having a mechanism built where customers naturally come back to you, that's a valuable business. That's something that you can potentially sell down the line as well. And more importantly, you have better margins to play around with. So if you have a business where a customer just buys from you once, it's very difficult to be able to start scaling this because your advertising costs are only going to go up. And more importantly, if you don't have a model built where customers come back to you, either buy similar complementary products or buy a subscription of your actual product, it's going to be very difficult for you to start scaling, especially if you're dropshipping in 2026 or if you're building any type of a brand. If you're dropshipping, you have to make sure that you're protecting your margins. And at the same time, you start off with dropshipping so that you can build a long-term brand. Anything I do or any of the people that I work with and I consult, the number one thing I tell them is that you're not building a random store. You're building an actual brand that you can potentially sell down. And this is what I do and teach. So the most important thing I want you to know is that never ever depend on you making money one time from a customer. It's always going to be difficult for you to scale, and it's very difficult to sustain that type of a business. The second thing I want you to know is that your goal should be to be able to spend as much money as possible on your customer acquisition cost. Now, let me explain this before people actually come at me in the comments. The most important metric in your actual marketing side of things is going to be your customer acquisition cost. Now, guess who wins in marketing? The people who can spend the most to actually acquire a customer will always win in marketing. And if you are constantly dependent on having a $20 customer acquisition cost, the moment it goes up, you're unprofitable. Whereas if you go from a 20 and you can afford a $60 cost of acquisition cost, you're still going to make money either way. So the number one thing I want you to focus on is to be able to spend more to actually acquire. That doesn't mean that you spend more. You need to be able to spend more, and you need to be able to be operationally running at a 1.2, a 1.3, a 1.5 ROAS. Because the biggest brands in the world today are not really operating on a 3 ROAS or a 2 ROAS. I've been inside some of the biggest ad accounts in the world, and I know, matter of fact, these guys are running at a 1.2, 1.3, 1.5 ROAS, and they are achieving scale because they have customers who come back to them, and they have customers who either are subscribed or customers who come back to them on their back-end channels like email marketing or whatever the case may be. So if you don't have these two things dialed in, it's going to be infinitely harder for you to start scaling, because again, then the moment your customer acquisition cost goes up, you're playing catch up to actually get customers back in the door, and you don't want to play that game. The third thing I want you to know is that you want to test small, but you want to test fast and effectively. The way we do that with the people I work with and the people I consult is we build hybrid stores. With hybrid stores, the way we actually build hybrid stores is very simple. I'll open this up for you so I can give you a more in-depth explanation. Now, what is a hybrid store? A hybrid store is a broad store with a broad name where you're able to test and run anything you want. This doesn't mean that it's a general store. What this is a store where customers are able to come on and they only see one product at a time. The store looks extremely branded, it looks very well put together, and there's only one product in the store at one time. But since your store name is broad, you're able to change it back whenever you need. And if you need to change the product, you don't actually change the whole brand name. And this is one of the most important things you can do when you're first trying to test. So anyone I work with, anyone I consult, the number one thing I tell them is to start small, to test effectively with a hybrid store, and don't get married to a product. You want to be making sure that you're actually coming on testing as quickly as you can, building subscribers as much as you can, and more importantly, focusing on these first 2 points I talked about, where you're not particularly focused on making money on the front end, right? If you can actually position your business in a way where you can make money on the back end and you can make money from your customer LTV or lifetime value, you're going to be able to infinitely beat anyone in the market today, because if you can spend $60 to acquire the same customer that other people are able to only spend $40 for, you're going to win every day of the year and you're going to outcompete anyone. And this is why you see brands who are aggressively running ads. Why are they running for so long, and why do you copy the ads, and why do you not make the same result? It's because they're winning the bids, because they're able to spend more for that exact same customer which you are bidding for. So change this and you'll instantly see a massive increase in not only just your profits, but actually you changing your thought and building a real brand where customers genuinely come back to you and selling products that you actually care about and something that you're genuinely proud of. Next thing I want you to know is you need to reduce channel dependency. One of the biggest issues we had when we were starting to scale the store is we had only one Meta ad account. We only had one pixel. The number one thing I could have done is diversify my risk. I needed to have 2, 3, 4, 5 ad accounts where I'm running small campaigns, engagement campaigns, where at least I warm it up. And at least I have other options, so in case something happens to one of my assets, my second, my third assets are protected, which is exactly what you want to be focusing on as well. The fifth thing, and this is probably the most important part of this entire video, is scared money never makes money. I want to share a story with you. When I first started ecom and I found my first successful product, I was spending about $100 a day on ads initially, and I was making about $300 a day back. I vividly remember I was at this dinner where my phone was just blowing up with sales, and I was spending $100 a day on ads that time, and I was getting like 4 or 5 sales, and that was the most craziest day I've had to this day in ecom, because that showed me the potential of what ecom could actually do and what a real business where you sell products that customers genuinely care about can actually do for you. And at that moment, I bumped my budgets from $100 a day to $300 a day. And at that time, I was scared to make a decision. And what my dad told me at that time was scared money will never make money. And mind you, I was making all of this money myself. I never took a penny from my dad. And more importantly, that lesson hits home because that was the single biggest lever I was able to pull to go from doing $100 a day to $300 a day to doing 5, 6, 10K a day. We've done 30, 40K days before. Scared money never makes money. I recently paid $17,000 for a consulting about one thing I want to learn. And here's proof of that, as you can see here. Why do I want to share this? It's because whenever anyone is starting off with ecom, you have limiting beliefs that if I spend this much, I need to be seeing a direct ROI from it. When sometimes you learn 1 or 2 things that could be massive lessons for you 2 years down the line. Now, I'm not saying go ahead and spend 17K. I'm saying be open to getting help. Always be a student of the game and always be investing in getting education and learning from people who are ahead of you. I don't just say this because I run a consulting business. I say this because this is actually something that changed my life, and this is why I started the consulting side of things, because that alone, when I first got started, was the biggest lever I moved, because I stopped thinking in that scarcity way and I allowed myself to be more aggressive with my ads and to actually spend more. Even though I had the money, I was just afraid. And when I stopped doing that, that's when I started going from $300 a day to 5, 6, like I said, 30K days even. So this is one of the biggest levers I want you guys to know, that again, don't be scared to spend more. If you're doing well with your ads, don't let yourself get in the way. If you're doing well, learn. Get into masterminds, get into discords, get into coachings, get into anything that will actually allow you to increase your ability to make more money. The sixth thing I want to let you know is the ad formats that are actually working for us are very simple. You must be like, hey Vivaan, what crazy AI ad formats are you running? The number one thing that's working for us in our ad accounts today is image ads. Image ads that literally take 15 seconds to make. Why are these working for us? Because they are pattern interrupts. And they're pattern interrupts because no one actually makes such simple ads. What we do is we send a lot of our traffic to an image ad where we spark curiosity. And when we spark curiosity, we run this from a tertiary page. It's not our brand page. We run this from a page like the Health Insider or something about the actual product itself. And what we do is, since we spark curiosity here and we just spam test images, we're able to test a lot of concepts in this way. We're able to find something that's actually working for us, and then we make a video from it. So we don't test video ads right away, we start testing with image ads. And what we do is we send all of this to a page where they give more information about the product. Right? So this is like a listicle, it could be an advertorial where we just have more information about the product that we give them, and that we actually solve that open loop that we actually create in the ad itself. So we create an open loop in these ads, and what we do is we send all of that traffic to close that open loop with our product to actually sell them that product. So what we would do is, if you're selling, let's say, a weight loss product, you would make curiosity driven image ads where you show a transformation and you spark a level of curiosity. Then what you would do is you would actually solve that curiosity with this listicle where you show 5 reasons why or 10 reasons why thousands of men or thousands of women are using this one unique mechanism of your product to actually lose weight, or whatever the case may be. If you position your ads this way, what happens is, one, you can spam test image. You can find out what's actually working for you a lot quicker. And when you find out what's working for you a lot quicker, then what you can do is you can just have more image ads, more video ads you can test. This way, you're not making videos out of randomness. You're making videos out of the image concepts that have already worked for you. The reason why we test with image ads is because they're so quick and easy to make at scale. And with this listicle, then we have them go to the product page and buy. We don't directly give them the offer because they're sometimes not ready to buy yet and they're not ready to make that purchase yet. Especially if you're in a market where you have to build more trust. And if you have to build more trust, which is most of the consumable market or most of the supplements that you guys are selling, you have to be able to build trust here. If you're not able to build trust here, then you're never going to actually get them to convert here. So this part here matters a lot. And even more than that, to actually get the customers in the door, you have to be able to build these image ads and you have to be able to spark a level of curiosity. That when a customer actually comes here, your ads are cheaper because you're running image ads, you're running ads that don't look like ads, your CPMs go down. And more importantly, they come here and they're instantly interested in your product because you've built authority here with the page that you're building. And more importantly, you're actually sparking a level of curiosity and you solve that open loop in this listicle or in this advertorial that you're sending that traffic to. And then you have them go to your product page from there. Why this works is because you're not directly presenting them an offer they're not even ready to buy yet. So all in all, what you should do if you want to start today is run something that customers can come back to and buy again and again. More importantly, run image ads, spark a level of curiosity with your ads. Your CPMs will drastically go down. Don't be dependent on one channel. Have multiple channels you run on or have multiple backups you have with your stores. Test small, test efficiently with hybrid stores, and don't be afraid to spend money. This is one of the biggest lessons I've learned. I strongly believe that these 5 or 6 points I've covered today are much more valuable than if I was to give you a Facebook ad tutorial or to go behind the scenes and show you what I'm doing. None of that actually matters if you don't have these 4 or 5 concepts dialed in. And when you do, you're instantly able to outcompete anyone who's starting off and actually build a competitive moat for yourself and your brand today. Now, the most important thing that you want to be focusing on is being a little bit different. You can't just copy everyone's image ads. You can't just copy everyone's concepts and ideas. You want to take that as inspiration, and then what you want to do is you want to make sure that you add your own twist to it. That being said, I just opened up a few slots to work with myself and my team one-on-one at growthatbrand.com, which is my consulting business, where I show you exactly what I do behind the scenes of my own e-commerce stores that do over 600K to 800K a month. And I walk you through exactly what I would do for your store. And I work with you one-on-one throughout the whole process, whether it's with your ads, your offers, your creatives, or anything in between, where you have my exact team who runs my exact brands, show you exactly how to do it, where all you have to do is just implement what we teach you. I'm leaving a link below to book in a one-on-one call with myself to see if you'll actually be a good fit. And I will only work with you if I genuinely think I can get you to where you want to get to. and I don't charge you if I don't get you results. Just as simple as that. That being said, I hope you guys got some value from this. Ciao.